Hi. Just thought I would talk about a few books I just bought. This one was the Answers book. It's a creationist book, written by Ken Ham. I think he belongs to the Creation Foundation. He wrote this one's the new series of the Answer series. I Years ago I used to own the Answers book, and it was just one book. They've made it into three. And so this one's much more up to date and more in depth on each topic, and they're really quite nice books. Um, and some really good reasoning in them, I think. I've met Ken Ham and heard him at a conference. Um, Him and a colleague, a geologist. Can't quite remember the geologist's name. I think it was Peter or something. S. Peter S. Last name started with S. Snelgar or Snell. Snelling. Snelling sounds familiar. Anyway, um, and I was quite interested after the talk. I was very enthused, and I heard all these evolutionists, these university actually students, debating and asking questions at the end, and he knew the answers and refuted them publicly every time a newer answer for them, and it was astonishing their wealth and knowledge. I thought it was amazing how these guys were coming up with some really extremely difficult questions, and they knew the answers to them like they'd heard them all before, and probably they had. Um, I got so enthusiastic. I went to a camp with them, and was at a camp for about a week, listening to different ones, and there were more people there with doctorates, PhDs, and all sorts of qualifications, and on different subject areas, which was really nice. And I heard for a week just teaching and teaching and talking on different sciences, and went out and did field trips. We went out and looked at rock layers, and it was great. It was really great. I'm a big fan of Ken Ham. I mean, he gets rubbish and abused and all sorts of stuff, and it's really what it's come down to: evolutionists abusing people because they can't argue with them. That's actually really childish, I think. I But I like them guys. Since I spent a week with them, got to actually get to know them a little bit within a week by having talks and chats. They are definitely men of integrity. I had to say, back then when I knew them or had spent time with them, I really had the impression they were men of integrity who weren't deceiving liars or trying to fool people or con artists. And so I really respect them, um, and I think they're doing a great job. And I really think if you want to find out, if you really want to know the truth, then find out, delve into it, buy the resources needed, get into it, study it yourself. Don't just believe everything everyone tells you. Go and find out yourself. Seriously, if your university is telling you that evolution's a fact, then your your university has not actually, the person who's telling you that has not put in the effort. It really hasn't, uh, to study, because there are PhD professors with triple doctorates from. I've listened to videos of Russian professors with triple doctorates, which is very rare, talking on the subject of genetics, and they are convinced that creation is true and evolution is wrong. I've listened to other triple doctorate people talking on various other subjects, and again, they've got more evidence why it's not true, and it is most enlightening. Um, triple doctorates, and they believe in creation. They're not idiots, okay? Some award-winning scientists, um, creationists out there. The person who developed the MIR is a creationist, and some really good ones. I used to have an extensive library video collection. We're talking about 30 different videos on the subject of creation and evolution that I purchased, and I gave them to the video shop actually for free, so the public could view them and actually make up their minds themselves. And they were all video shop closed, and they gave them all away. I lost all my videos, but I did keep some of the books. I used to have a massive library, stacks and stacks of books. This one's what's this one? This is the one I've managed to kept. Sorry, called the Genesis. Ooh, where is it? The Genesis Record by Henry Morris, and Simon Baker, and he has a PhD in hydrology, I believe, and yeah, Dr. Henry M. Morris, and I love that book. It was so enlightening reading through the chapters and the breakdown in the book of Genesis. He breaks down the words. I learned a lot about the actual Hebrew words and their meanings from reading this book, and a lot about the theories behind some of them. These guys have got PhDs, and they really know their stuff. Okay, it was written, I think, in 1976, and it might be outdated in some of its theories, because I think some of the early theories about the flood, they believed that it had a water canopy covering the earth, and the water canopy broke, that was saying, and the fountains of the deep burst open and flooded the world for 150 days, and it rained for 40 days and 40 nights from the canopy over the world. Now, they're not sure about the canopy around the world anymore, if there was actually a water layer canopy. I mean, we don't know, you see, if it was there or not. If it was there, it's not there now. So you can never be certain about things like this. But the old theory was a water canopy covered the earth, and since bacteria and certain things can't exist under pressure, like under sea pressure, they can't survive. Water canopy would create a pressure which would mean the world would have be nearly perfect under those conditions, and they had all this beautiful stuff behind the water canopy. But I think the water canopy theory, not sure if it's a big popular one anymore, or if it's fallen by the wayside. I think maybe they're going with a more electromagnetic field instead. Doesn't really matter, it actually creates the same sort of thing. But if it did rain for 40 days and 40 nights, that could have been caused by a water canopy, or it could have been caused by fountains of the deep actually spurting forth the water into the air and then it coming down and raining. So various ways it could have actually possibly happened anyway. We don't know. We just read the Bible. It's an eyewitness account of what happened at the time, and we can just either trust it or not trust it. And but yeah, I liked that book. Read it, and it's an awesome breakdown of the Book of Genesis, and how I really got a real faith back in the Bible again. Believing the Bible after reading that and realizing, man, it is truly a book that can be trusted. I've gone on to different books, reading different books. I like this one here. This one's about books that I like reading. Well, different topics. This one's a cool one. A Journey from Gods to Christ by Daniel someone. Yep. Anyway, and he was a fanatical Muslim, actual terrorist. He was a terrorist, and he became a Christian, and this is just his account of how him and his wife were caught up in fanatical Muslim beliefs, and they were fanatics. They were willing to die and blow themselves up, whatever. They were right into it. And he became a Christian, and now is a Christian evangelist traveling around talking about why he became a Christian and why Islam is not true and Christianity is true. And so it was an enlightening book. It talks about different religions, what is Hinduism, what is Buddhism, and it has a really good breakdown. He has a really good understanding of the differences in religions and what they really truly believe. I learned a lot from that book. I thought I knew a lot already after studying, but after reading that, I realised I hadn't really understood very much at all. So that was a great book to read. This one here, I'll promote as an interesting one. Oh, there we go. Called The New Mystics by John Crowder. And if you've ever met John Crowder, he is a really funny, he's a real funny guy. I like him. I've personally had coffees with him and talked to him, and I like him. He gets a lot of flack from Christians. Like Christians just give him flack because he is so outrageous in his Christianity, and a lot of churches don't trust him, etc. But he is a genuine guy, genuinely nice, genuinely passionate about God, and his books are really are very impressive. I'm amazed actually when I met him actually that he can write so well. He seems like just a normal guy, very intelligent. If you've ever watched his webcasts and watched him talk on a different topic, doctrines and stuff, theology, he has some outstanding understanding in the topic of Christian doctrine, and he's really knowledgeable and talks very in depth on topics. Um, you get to know and you think, wow, you wrote that book, and wow, you're so you have so much knowledge, because he's such a down to earth guy. You just wouldn't believe that he's so intellectual at the same time. I like him, and he's just a crazy all out Christian who's going hard for God, and I reckon good on him. I don't really care if he makes mistakes on the way, because I know his heart, his passion is in the right place, and so that's what we have to give grace for. We've got to give grace for each other, because we're not all perfect and we haven't got it all sorted. I certainly haven't got it all sorted, and I haven't met a Christian yet who has, but we're family. We're adopted family, and so Christian brothers and sisters, stop flipping picking on your brothers and sisters if they make mistakes, okay? Encourage them, help them, edify them. If they need correction, yeah, help them if it's going to be beneficial. But don't kick a horse when they're down, or if someone trips over, don't kick them because they've tripped over. Oh, kick them down. That's just ridiculous. Okay? And John Crowder, awesome. Support him. I think he's a rocking agent. I want to do a video just talking about some of the stuff that historic Christianity and some of the stuff that happens in it, because it is truly enlightening and fun. Okay. Anyway, that's my book promotion video. So stop there.